what's going on, guys? Today we are in Laguna Beach. It is Saturday, beautiful day, finally some blue skies and decent weather, so looks like there's a lot of people in Laguna Beach today. I decided to come out, do one of my favorite activities of the week, and that's a street walk, get some practice in. And today we're definitely going to get some practice in because I'm shooting with a focal length that we aren't necessarily the best of friends. I don't really use this focal length, but I wanted to take it for a spin because TTArtisan was nice enough to send it out to me for free. So we're doing another kind of street walk / lens review. I think this one will be good for me. Like I said, I'm not really a 75 shooter, but sometimes you got to just train the eye to see different things, and it's like seeing through binoculars, honestly. And as you guys know, I always complain that lenses don't have aperture rings, and this one actually does, so that's pretty sweet. If this lens didn't, honestly, I wouldn't be as stoked about it, but the fact that it does is pretty nice. So we're walking around Laguna Beach. It's like about 5:36, maybe an hour and a half, a golden hour-ish, maybe two. I'm gonna film some B-roll on the Fuji X106. I still have that camera, just haven't really got out and shot with it. And just to switch things up, ditching the GoPro today. Let's see what 75 can do. So walking around with all these cameras, you always get approached by somebody to take a photo. So I took a photo of this couple on their Digicam. Haven't shot with the Digicam in a long time, and that was kind of cool because it's just so raw, you know. And yeah, they were pretty chill. So I asked if they wanted a portrait. So you guys get to see this lens at f2. Very nice bokeh. I mean, crisp lens. So. Well, that was interesting. I definitely had a difficult time going out and shooting street photography with a 75. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I had to go out more than once to sort of get acclimated to the lens. I know that probably sounds normal and that's something that you probably just have to do, but I feel like some people on YouTube might just make it look like they went out once and they shot great photos. It doesn't really work like that. I don't want to blab too much because that stuff's kind of boring, but the lens we have here at hand is the 75 f2 TTArtisan. This thing is built like a tank. It's pretty heavy, I would say. I'll put the exact grams up on the screen, but it's all metal construction, so that's the one nice thing, is that you're not getting a super cheap lens. You're actually getting something pretty comparable to a lot of the competition on the market. It's got an aperture ring, like I mentioned. Yeah, the lens hood feels a little cheap because it's plastic, and this weird rear lens cap, I'm not a huge fan of it. It's got like the built-in USB in it and stuff, so you can do all your updates and whatnot, but it just feels kind of cheap and awkward, and I don't know. It's not the highlight of this lens for sure. On B&H, this thing is $178, and it has a 4.7 star review, 114 reviews. So for that price and the performance of this lens, that's pretty good, I would say. If you're looking for a budget 75, this definitely checks that box. For me personally, it's definitely one of those lenses, like if I needed this focal length, this is probably the one I'd go for. It's funny, like a lot of these lenses that I'm reviewing, I'm looking at, like, you're gonna get the same sort of picture quality out of them. They are all pretty much sharp, and the raws, you know, they come pretty low contrast when you put them in the Lightroom. You have to edit these photos, like unless you're gonna shoot JPEG and you like the way that looks, you're gonna have to put some work in to get these photos to look the way you want them. And I feel like that goes for almost every lens. A lot of the editing I did on these photos, I would say, is pretty minimal. I either used the presets that I have on my website, or I just kind of liked the raw and just made a few tweaks. There was a couple photos that I just made a few tweaks to, like saturation and vibrance, especially that one picture of that lady or man, I'm sorry, I don't know what that person was, but with the bright colored outfit and stuff, and it just, that photo out of camera was actually magnificent. And I just added, you know, some vibrance and saturation to really give it a pop, because, you know, her outfit was pretty cool, and couldn't believe I got that photo. She just came out of the blue. I'm not gonna lie, when I first got this lens, I was not stoked on it at all. Like, it had nothing actually to do with the lens itself. It was actually all me. You know, like I said, I don't shoot 75, so when I first went out, I'm like, ooh, you know, this is weird. You know, I don't like this feeling. I don't really know what I'm doing with this focal length. So it felt new again, which was like a good feeling, but at the same time I felt sort of like a fish out of water, and it took a few sessions to really start to kind of get my style with the 75 and sort of figure out how to frame and use different techniques to get the photos that I wanted. So again, it was like more about me, not the lens. But that's also another thing too you have to consider when you're buying a lens, is like if you're gonna go with a focal length that you've never had before, and you're gonna go and spend like 1400 on a G Master, why not just spend like 178 or whatever the price is, you know, less than a couple $100, and not be so much invested in the lens and then end up not liking it and then having to sell it for half the price you bought it for. You know, that'd be kind of sad. Better to get a sort of a budget lens, and I think this one is really good. I mean, you saw the portrait that I took. That was nice. The autofocus is great. Again, like I'm not a spec guy, so I'm not gonna go deep into specs like some of these other YouTuber guys, you know, do. I'm just a photographer, and I happen to be on YouTube to show my work. So yeah, I would say that this lens is definitely a buy. I would tell you guys if it wasn't. I really do like it. I think the price point's really good too. Let's have a chat in the comments. I want to hear what you guys think about this lens, about this video. Hey, have a great weekend, or whatever day of the week it is you're watching, and of course we'll see each other in the next video. Take care.